And in that grounding and nesting phase, I felt very much like, I was running around a lot, just cleaning and setting up my spaces, but I didn't feel like I wanted to do any physical movement. I was just like, my body was rebuilding and I was rebuilding the space around me. So I was just kind of holding space for that to happen. And as far as emotions go, I would have some surgences of emotion or some reactions to things, but overall my nervous system felt pretty calm, pretty steady, and I was still very much in that bit of an afterglow where everything still felt pretty magical. Another thing was the cravings. I started noticing that a craving would come up, and I know now that I have this amazing new neuroplasticity, so I don't want to put anything into my body or into my brain that will give me dopamine or feed any addictive patterns in my brain. So I kind of started responding differently whenever I'd get a craving and be like, okay, I want something right now. Well, why is that? Why do I want something? Well, because I am overstimulated, or well, because I'm tired, and my previous coping mechanism would be to, I'm tired, so let me have a coffee, or I'm overstimulated, so like, let me smoke a J to calm myself down, or I want to feel creative, so like, let me smoke a little bit. And now I realize that if I want to really harness this 2.0 version of me that is free of all addictions, I cannot give into these cravings anymore. So the plant, I guess, also intuitively instructed me to really start asking these questions for myself. It's like, okay, I'm overstimulated. I don't want to smoke joint. So what would I do now? Okay, I have to come up with other things to soothe myself. So go run a bath, or go lay down, or go for a walk, like do something else enjoyable. So really just rewiring how you behave. And then to the T, when I had my spaces set up, which took me like a month from landing in Estonia, so we're now like 5 weeks post ceremony, to the T, when these spaces got set up, I was like, okay, so what do I want to do now? I want to create, but most importantly, I want to detox. Not only I want to detox, but I need to detox. So right now I have been in this detox phase for like 3 weeks, and I'm doing the vibration plate, the rebounder, the saunas, the charcoal, the chlorella, just everything very intuitively. I started walking every morning, so I'm doing a lot of steps every day. I still don't feel like I want to go to the gym, even though I normally love the gym. So still very gentle, but also much more solid now than my previous phase, where I was like nesting and creating these structures for myself. Now I feel like I have the structures. I'm meal prepping, I'm eating super well, I'm detoxing. And also I started feeling this deep need to start releasing trauma from my body. So I realized that when one of the previous episodes I was talking about my second ceremony, where the plant basically just healed my lineages like so effortlessly, I realized that it wasn't that it just healed my lineages and now everything is done. It healed my lineages in an energetic level, and it offered me a contract, which I said, yes, let's go. I am the cycle breaker. So now I've been transmuting all of this heaviness through my own body. And I even had this one experience where a pattern came up, and it's actually my father's pattern, and I noticed it, and normally maybe I would brush it off, but I was like, no, let's look at this. And it would come up and I would be with it, and I was like, what is this? Like, this isn't mine. This feels foreign. This feels strange. And then my whole body started tingling, and I had a 1-hour healing session with IBOGA with no substances used, which was crazy. I was like, this is crazy. This is magical. And after that, I have not had that pattern come up. So that was, wow, that's just incredible when he reminds me of his presence like that, and reminds me just how powerful he is. But other than that, I realized that I signed a contract to now transmute things through my body. So what I've been really focusing on also is making my body really, really safe now. I bought myself this mat. It's like an acupuncture heating mat. And I'm using it, and it's calming down my nervous system to the point where I've been able to take naps. This is coming from someone who's never ever in their life been able to take naps. Like when I want to relax, the person I used to be, when I wanted to relax, I would just have to do something else instead of working or the thing I was doing. So that's been really new for me, and also learning a lot about trauma and trauma release, and how much we actually have to make ourselves feel safe for the trauma to even be released. So if you haven't learned to regulate your nervous system, the biggest keyword of my life right now, 8 weeks post-ceremony, regulated nervous system. So I'm realizing that I need to have warm food twice a day at least. I need to have food ready to go the moment I get hungry. So I meal prep once a week. I make all my stuff. Let me know if that interests you. I'll make a video on that. I meal prep. I'm on my mat. I'm taking my walks. I'm in the sauna. I'm on my vibration plate. I also started playing around, experimenting with TRE again, which is super effective. I actually want to do a TRE session for my Patreon soon. So yeah, regulating the nervous system and detoxing and healing. And oh my God, a lot of stuff is coming up. Everything that I was so happy IBOGA cured in me is coming up. And I have to remember that the ceremony continues. And all these keywords that I learned, trust, surrender, receive, breathe, I have to now take these things into my everyday life. Like the ceremony didn't end with the ceremony. Things weren't just fixed. It was an agreement. The ceremony was an agreement for him to do his part energetically, and now I have to do the work in the 3D. So I have to remember when it gets really heavy to trust. I have to remember that I signed these contracts where I'm like, I want to heal my lineage. How much freaking work that is, and how much freaking work might still be ahead of me, but it is something that I signed up for and said yes to. And also my relationship to pain has completely changed, because I'm realizing that so much of the pain that I'm feeling in my body is not even mine, it's ancestral. Like when we have period cramps as women, it's because maybe someone in our lineage got, or, you know, I have this chronic back pain in my lineage. So I'm now I'm sitting with my back pain, and I'm like, hello, I see you, I love you, I'm here for you. Where are you coming from? What are you trying to say? So just having to grow a lot of capacity to hold things, a lot of things that might not even be yours. All of us are. I'm realizing all of us are probably holding a lot of things that aren't even ours. And whenever any physical or mental anguish comes up, the best thing to do is to trust and to hold it and to love it and to witness it. So much of our own pain and our ancestors' pain went not witnessed. So we are the ones now to just witness it and to love it and to hold it. And it's not always easy. It takes a lot of energy, but it's also an honor. So learning about this phase now, this really deep, heavy integration phase, is when they say that IBOGA is now like pulling out the roots, and not just him alone pulling out these roots, but you are now in collaboration with the plant. So it's pulling out the roots, and you're the one having to feel and to be present for all these things. But the amazing thing is that I, as of this point, have no cravings for any addictive substances. I tried having coffee a few days ago, and like, I did not like the taste. I hated it. And if you know me, you know I love my coffee, and I used to be just a coffee addict. I used to love smoking weed, and I don't want it. I don't want it. There's this new sense of just realizing, which is something that Iboga showed me, it showed me how precious I am, how valuable I am, how lovable, how cherished, how much I need to cherish myself. So it's like, I don't want to do anything anymore that would harm me in any way. And one of the things where I see that is also really differentiating now between the triggers and the boundaries. And the boundaries that I had before the ceremony are now even stronger, because I realize how precious I am and how much I deserve to be happy, how much every person deserves to be happy, but just how much that is our birthright, you know, to be in our brightest shine. And lies were always intolerable for me. That's something that is just an energy that I cannot stand. But after meeting the root of truth, or the tree of truth, and now that it's working with me, and actually there's an altar behind my back that I've built. There's a big Iboga painting on my wall. Like, I'm very dedicated to this plant. I love this plant so much. I realize I have even lower tolerance for bullshit or lies or just any false energy. And my intuition has just gotten even stronger. I guess you could say that I just love myself so much more now. And that doesn't mean that insecurities and things aren't coming up, but I realize now that I can work through these insecurities. I'm not crippled by things anymore. I don't get into these big looping thoughts, but when I get a sensation or when I get a thought or a pattern coming up that I don't like, I feel like I have more power to just witness it and to transmute it. And oftentimes things that used to maybe like trip me up for a while, I can just transmute them faster. And one really interesting thing I noticed was when I was in the beginning of my integration, I was listening to the Bwiti music a lot. And maybe it's because the plant was still in me in a bigger way and working actively, so maybe the music was supportive. But now, 8 weeks after, and actually during that random healing session that Iboga did on me for an hour, I wanted to put on the Bwiti music, and it told me to not put on the Bwiti music. So now I feel like listening to that music outside ceremony is not right, which is interesting. So I'm just honoring and following that. Yeah, that's my integration so far. In a nutshell, I've had 3 distinct phases. First, the afterglow, which was amazing, beautiful, connected. Then the nesting, building, creating structures, very root chakra-y, cleaning spaces, creating systems for my body, for my food, for my movement, for my everything, rooting into the earth, getting very connected, basically a very root chakra vibes. And now I'm in this phase of detox and kind of just relentless transmuting of my own and my ancestral patterns, and calming down my nervous system and releasing and transmuting tons of stuff. And overall, I notice total pattern interruption when it comes to addiction. I'm currently free of all my addictions, which is incredible in itself. It wasn't really my main goal with this treatment, but it's amazing. It works. It feels so good to be free. Less tolerance to untruth of any kind, of any non-resonating vibe, and just more self-love and self-appreciation, and also, I guess, faith and peace that everything is the way it's supposed to be, moving the way that it's supposed to move. Overall, of course, still the most important spiritual experience of my life. Also very demanding, quite hard, and very slow when it comes to integration. So it really requires deep readiness from a person, I think, to work with this medicine. And I think that's also the reason why they call it the Mount Everest of plant medicines. It's not just a ceremony you do. You are gonna literally have to become a different person, and that stuff's gonna happen with your own elbow grease, not by just the magic pill, which it is a powerful magic pill. But yeah, so this was my integration so far. I will check back in soon. I'm gonna keep documenting my journey for fellow seekers, for people who want to work with this incredible plant, and for my Patreons, for my YouTube followers. And integrity, love, unity. Love you guys.